Hello, good afternoon everyone. Have you take your lunch? Hopefully you enjoy your lunch, but for me, I'm done. Okay. Today the topic is quite hot. Yeah, because yesterday I saw some of the video domestic helpers. I don't know whether she's Filipino or Indonesian or other country, but I don't bring this specific, but seem look like she's a Filipino. And I did confirm this morning to Ate Maritas, which is a leader from the association from the Filipino, that she's fine, and her employer already testified that understands the situation. So actually this one I would like to share from the other angle, and I don't want that most of the domestic helpers also having that kind of judgmental to the helpers itself without knowing the reason. So everything happens have reasons. Well, if we try to share the experience, everybody has different experience, and at the same time every employer has their own rule. Every employer, every parent has their own parenting guide. So that's most important thing. When you are taking care of children, you have to ask your employer first thing is, what is your purpose? What is your purpose, and why you are here? So this question you have to ask to your employer first thing, and second thing, that's how's your parenting guide. This is need to know each other and try to build communication with an employer and the helper itself, how to train and educate the kids, how to train and educate the child. This is really needed. There is something maybe people missing when we are crossing the road. That maybe some of the kids now, after long break, after the long holiday, most of them, they are having that kind of new adjustment. That most of the kids, they want to wake up and taking slow motion every morning, has to make a noise, very annoying, ask them to quickly move along. But some of them, they rather to keep whining. Yeah, it happens mostly every morning. And on that kind of situation, surely employer itself and the helpers itself, that will bring us that kind of emotionally and that kind of anger, you know, that kind of anger that we can't avoid it sometimes, because every morning everybody in rush, everybody rushing, and some of the situation that we maybe didn't notice it, and we didn't know what their daily life, we didn't know. Okay, we didn't know what is the behind the scene, what is happening before, earlier, we didn't know. So please try to be clear that we are not the right who decide who is wrong. We are not the right to decide what is happening based on the short of video. Yes, I also don't agree what is the helper's act on that day is correct. No, I don't agree so. But I also don't agree if you just accuse her as a child abuse, because at the meantime, while you are on rush, and at that moment at the traffic lights, and the kids was tantrum, it's not easy to handle. Maybe he could lose control, and you can't lose to him. And maybe, yes, the method for her holding the kids, maybe it's not right. Yeah, she's a bit nearly suffocate to the kids, and he will hardly to breathe. Yes, accidentally it will gonna happen. So for the helper itself, first thing what you do when that kind of situations, holding your kids first. Try to calm down. Even though maybe end up you are late at the school, it is fine. Being late at the school is better. Rather you are in rush but end up you get an accident. So this is put up on your mind. And if you have to owe an explanation to your boss or to your employer, try to tell them properly. I'm sorry, ma'am, the boy was being late. It's because he get a tantrum or she get a tantrum on the way and I have to cool him down. If I don't cool him down, it will be dangerous for him if he just keep crying and run over, which is accident happen. Nah, di sini yang harus dijelaskan kepada teman-teman, kepada majikan ya. Jadi ada beberapa situasi yang teman-teman juga harus menguasai emosi sendiri ya. Karena kalau teman-teman emosinya memuncak, marah. Nah, ini kan karena ada beberapa situasi yang harus kita catat. Kita tidak tahu situasi kerjanya si Mbak ini. Kita tidak tahu situasi kerjanya si Mbak ini bagaimana. Adakah majikannya memang mengerti dia sebelumnya, ya? Adakah majikannya tidak pernah menyalahkan dia? Nah, kita nggak tahu. Adakah anaknya ini memang benar-benar respect sama dia? Ini tidak ada yang tahu. So on the base on daily life and the working environment, which is should to be built both way, there's a communications and try to be open-minded. This is really needed between employer and the helper itself. We can't just only overlook by one side. No. Why is it the employer hire the helper? Is to help the children, is to help the kids, is to help the chores. To complete what is the employer can't do it. But most of the employer being bossy and being like a princess to be served even to the kids, and they don't show the respect. When you try to correct your helpers, you shouldn't do it in front of your child. So you have to try to talk nicely, first thing. Second, try to talk it separately with your kids. And this is to avoid misunderstanding and try to avoid much more that kind of show some of respect even your children. Your children should to respect your helper. Yes, I won't say the way the helper's doing is right, but you also has to be aware which one you have to take first action. Maybe you will act impulsive and spontaneous, but you also has to know what is a safety reason, what is the safety move. Ya, jadi yang pertama kali dilakukan adalah kamu harus calm down. Jadi kalau anaknya itu mungkin tantrum, kitanya harus calm down. Tapi tidak bisa disalahkan karena kita tidak tahu, yaitu tadi, if the employer keep blaming the helpers, that will be difficult for the helper to adjust and difficult for the helper to control herself while seeing that thing happen, while facing the problem. And she already blanked. She didn't know what to do and she didn't know how to explain again. If maybe this is not the first time and the employer didn't care about it, the employer didn't listen what the helper's explanation, this will be worse. But again, I saw some of the comments that the employer already testified that it is fine and already tell the helper next time don't do it again and try to be more careful enough to your job, try to be faithful to your duty. So being responsible is a must, but you have to take any consequences what the act you did. This is a must. So whenever this video spread all over, mostly Indonesian helpers or even Filipino helpers cursing these helpers and cursing what is happening. Why she do that? This is dangerous. Yes, we know that. Yeah, we know that this is dangerous. But you also have to remind yourself calm and you have to remind to the kids. He also has to know that while you are crossing the road, you also have a dangerous moment if you don't listen to adults, especially listen to the helpers. This one should to be rules should be set by the parents itself. That's always telling the kids that while you're crossing the road, please holding hand and try to calm down and listen to what is Jeje said. You don't make a noise and try to rebel. This is dangerous. You have to wait for the light turn to green, then you walk. If blinking, stop walking. Try to stay still. How about if we are rushing and then late to the school? This is fine. You have to explain to your employer. And for the employer itself, also has to try to understand and give some space or some times for the helper to explain what is her situation is. It's not only just trying to being righteous. No, I don't agree so. Yeah, because some people having that kind of reaction, maybe the response itself, emotional response from the helpers is that kind of immediate. She didn't know what to do. I have on her mind maybe that's I have to bring him fast. I got to rush. I don't want to be late. I don't want to get scolded by my employer. It's because the boy late. It could be. We don't know. So we try ourselves to improve ourselves and try to reflect on the situation also before we judge anything based on the video. And maybe this kind of things happen if maybe we saw it. That we are not trying just to record it, but we try to tell both of them, try to stop first, don't rush. Try to stop first, don't rush. It is fine to be late. It's better than your absence at the school. So this method maybe can help. But again, I also don't agree. I don't say that the helper's method is right. No, I don't say that. But in order to avoid more misunderstanding, the video shouldn't be shared on the published again and again. But we can't control it. It's already went viral. Ya. Jadi di sini mari kita sama-sama lebih objektif ya, karena kita memang nggak tahu posisinya mbaknya ini seperti apa. Ada tidak komunikasi sebelumnya, ada tidak ini majikannya suka menyalahkan, ada tidak ini majikannya maafan, kita kan nggak ada yang tahu ya. 講緊嗰個照片姐姐同嗰個小朋友過馬路，咁呢啲呢各位家長係一定要明白嗰個時間係趕時間，同埋嗰個係中間個馬路嘅。咁係個小朋友可能咧係好撚狗啊，或者嗰個姐姐個情況個情緒又唔穩定啊，咁咪冇人知道嘅。咁如果真係有發生意外嘅話，嗰個姐姐都會好傷心噶嘛。咁係我相信每個姐姐喺香港照顧緊小朋友，佢真係用心照顧緊小朋友嘅。但係可能嗰陣時佢從東佢唔知點做，咁係突然間捉咗佢行路，咁係捉咗嗰陣時佢咁紮實咁樣咧，都係好危險嘅。咁係呢個動作可能都係唔需要大家可以學，呢個唔啱嘅，嗰個動作可能唔啱，但係最緊要個小朋友而家佢冇事，係咪？最緊要個小朋友而家冇事㗎啦，咁係呢個先。我哋都係真係冇留意過啊嘛，係嘛？係啊，最緊要個小朋友而家冇事，佢平安係嘛？係啊，咁如果我哋講緊呢啲嘅話，幾年前都有啦，係嘛？嗰個姐姐帶埋嗰個小朋友過馬路放學，接咗放學，咁嗰個小朋友好似12歲，咁係貫通嗰陣時，佢自己走。 因為捉咗佢揸失佢揸嗰陣時佢實走，咁佢自己走過馬路，咁係俾嗰個大巴士撞咗佢，咁都係冇辦法救翻佢噶啦。咁個姐姐係點樣啊？姐姐都唔知點做佢啦，係嘛？咁係嗰陣時，佢個老闆都好似喺個附近嗰度，咁喺個附近嗰度，喺個附近嗰度咧，個媽咪喺嗰度，咁係再遲啲跟住話姐姐做錯啲嘢，原來嗰個警察睇翻嗰個 CCTV 唔係姐姐個錯嘅喎，係喺嗰個小朋友自己走路，自己個失手跟住佢走。嗱呢個咧。嗰個邊個都好，家長都好，姐姐都好，工人都好。如果你哋照顧緊小朋友，最緊要係咩啊？最緊要係屋企人嗰啲嘢咧，係你個屋企，等佢有啲安全感。咁係屋企咧冇講嘢嗰咁大聲，個皮孫喺你個激氣，你又激氣啊，你激嬲都好，冇喺你個細路仔面前，因為呢啲會影響嗰個細路仔嘅，同埋嗰影響咗嗰個姐姐。講真啦，大家都喺呢度一齊生活噶嘛，咁係點解乜嘢都唔可以傾嘅咧？可以傾噶嘛，你可以慢慢坐低傾噶嘛。咁係我而家都係照顧緊兩個小朋友嘅，咁係呢個兩個小朋友咧有個特別個習慣，可能個個都係點解會咁樣啊？嗰個小朋友係嘛？咁嗰個小朋友咧嗰個習慣係點啊？如果佢哋唔中意啲嘢咧，咁如果佢哋唔中意啲嘢咧，你話佢唔中意咧，佢會喊。咁佢喊嗰陣時，邊個都喐唔到噶。呢個習慣係你要睇翻清楚啲，呢個小朋友係邊啲嗰個習慣啊，咁佢個情緒啊，點解啊，個困難呢啲家長都係要知道嘅，要學到嘅，因為每個人。算係小朋友，大人都會有情緒噶嘛，咁係呢個好明顯啦，大家都會鬧啦，會唔開心啊，會開心啊，呢啲好正常嘅。咁係點樣可以教翻你個小朋友，令到等佢可以自己自己忍住佢自己嗰個情緒，嗱呢個先好難啊嘛，係嘛？唔係個個都做得到噶，但係最緊要咧係最緊要第一時間係教翻呢個小朋友點解你唔開心啊？係咪？乜嘢叫唔開心啊？乜嘢叫好嬲啊？乜嘢叫好開心啊？咁係呢啲係需要解釋俾個小朋友嘅好多方法。咁係幼稚園嗰陣時有嗰個家長同埋嗰個老師同埋嗰個小朋友講緊呢個情緒嗰個方法係點樣嗰個呢個小朋友係點樣啊？嗰個如果係屋企，如果佢鬧係點樣啊？咁係佢個 express， 咁佢表達係點樣啊？呢個真係需要嘅。嗱 ，everybody has the right to express their feeling. Everybody has the right to express their thought, and maybe some the expression and the emotionally response. This one, every parents need to take note and try to observe to your child. So this kind of thing maybe that's a bit tricky, but you have to do it as a parents. And one more thing, that's maybe anything happen during your helpers and you yourself or with your kids, try to talk about it and stop being so bossy and stop being criticized to your helper in front of your child. Try to talk to her nicely and try to teach her which is the right method to handle your child, because you are a parent, you are the parents, you are the one who in charge to educate and bring it up your child. and responsible for your child. It's not your helpers. Your helpers maybe has, but it's not totally 100%. You put the shoulders burden on her and shoulders the responsible to your helpers. So this is not right, because the helpers, you hire the helpers is to help your child and not to serve your child. So this is two things different. Yeah, you have to train your child to be independent and understand what is called responsibility, understand what is called consequences. So this is need to do it since they are still young. Maybe you think that's they're still young, they still didn't know yet. Yes, since they didn't know yet, you have to teach them, you have to explain to them. So this is the adult job, right? This is the adult responsibility to tell them and teach them. If you think that's your helpers not compatible, then you can hire another one and try to put on the criteria on it, try to talk over it before you hire. Or on the interview session, you can tell them that your duty is on this part, and while we are away, you have to in charge in our child and make sure the safety first, and you have to accompany them. You know, some of the people, some of the employees are crazy too, and even your children or the children didn't eat their food is a helper's fault. So this is we need to try to minimize it, try to stop that kind of negative thought that's, or try to blaming the helpers only. But we also has to try to be clear in mind and try to be objective on it, because we really didn't know what is their life look like within the relationship, within the situation, within the working environment. We didn't know. Yeah, jadi di sini 因為每個人都係嗰個方法點樣搞緊細路仔真係唔同噶嘛。咁我哋做工人姐姐都係有時壞懶到佢，係咪？有時我哋都做爛到啊，係咪懶咗啲啊嘛？係咪？因為如果係嗰度仲有，如果有婆婆仲更加好難求啦，係嘛？因為婆婆同埋可能嗰個婆婆同埋個阿媽又唔同個諗法，又唔同個睇法，又唔同嗰個方法係點樣教緊啲小朋友嘛。咁係領導姐姐都係唔知點做，揀邊個？如果揀媽，婆婆又嬲；揀個婆婆媽又嬲，咁嗰個小朋友仲更加佢玩亂緊邊個係咪？咁如果有時佢又係可以咁話嘅喎，你喺呢度係工人嚟㗎，我點解要聽你個話？嗱，呢個説話都會講咗出嚟啊，有時係咪？咁咪真係大家都小心啲。我真係相信呢個姐姐都係真係好冇心對呢個小朋友咁樣做法。咁但係佢都係唔啱。係咪都唔啱？係要教佢點樣啱個方法，唔係成日話佢你做錯啲嘢，係唔一定要成日做錯啲嘢。每個人都會一定要做錯啲嘢嘅，咁係冇理由。It's nobody perfect here, and I think I do believe that she also nothing do harm to the kids. She doesn't mean to do this on purpose. Maybe she just spontaneously hold him up and accidentally meeting that person who recording her, and that's just say that's the bad day for her and very unlucky for her. So for you sister, when maybe you see your face everywhere, just tell yourself that you and your employer not in a good term. Make sure you and your employer is a good term, and your employer understand your situation, then they forgive you, they still let you to work for them. So just keep it up and try to improve yourself. Okay everybody, bye bye.